Texas Prison Story Family Salute. Y'all, it's your boy Tim Snow back here with another one, episode 15 of the Texas Prison Podcast.
15.
15, y'all. We getting there, man. I swear. It's working too, y'all. We having a bunch of fun. We've been trying to keep these podcasts to bring y'all news, information, facts, things that are happening. This is a little different. I know this Texas Prison Stories, but instead of prison stories, we're doing prison news, right? And that's why we have our guest back here again, Ashlyn. Recently, we covered something called the Sunset Commission. And the Sunset Commission it's a state agency that basically reviews and audits other state agencies, from my best understanding anyway. And it's Ashlyn, is it senators and stuff like that? Who is it? House of Representative people? Who's on this commission?
They're appointed. It's senators and House of Reps.
That's what I thought. So it's Texas lawmakers on this thing, right? It's their job to audit, find problems, recommend changes to improve things, and all of that. Everything from the highway department to the prison department, to everything. So every 12 years, they do TDCJ. And this was the year. We covered it. I played it. Director Brian Collier spoke for a while. That was when he said, excuse me. That's when Brian Collier said that every officer in TDC will probably never have a walkie-talkie. Something like that. That's me paraphrasing, but it said it's not realistic. They had so many problems. It was unbelievable. It's also where they announced that they had the 5 people that was basically escaped on this compassionate release, where they allowed them to make parole when they were not actually supposed to make parole, just because they were going to die. And then all 5 of them took off. Let me see what else they talked about. And they talked about a bunch of stuff, right? Like the chronic, understaffing, how big of a problem that is. And then not only did they talk about all those problems with him, ask the questions where he really didn't look too great. Not blaming him, but it's the system and he represents it. So, yeah, he looked terrible, in my opinion. Then the people got up to talk. The people got up to speak. They gave them 2 minutes. They told personal stories. Some people were representing agencies. Some people were there for themselves. But every person that was there was extremely passionate. I can't lie. Our guest tonight, she was on there herself speaking. And it was some really good stuff. I got it on this channel. So if you didn't watch it, I know it's a long video. But you can just fast forward to the part where the guests speak. And it's powerful stuff, y'all. Then that's when you realize what prison is like and why this is not the life you want when you start hearing these people speak. Ashlyn, we talked about this, me and you, and I didn't have too much faith in the Sunset Commission, right? From day one, I was like, I don't know if this is going to change anything. My first question was, is the Sunset Commission something new? Is this like the first time it's ever happened, or is this something that's reoccurring? Then remember I said, well, they must have didn't do too much last time. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they do this time. So she's back with the results. And AR, check this out. They said something, one thing in there that's mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing that the way they put 2 + 2, and it don't feel like 4 to me, right? They're fixing to make these Texas prisons dangerous, more overcrowded. It's just it's unbelievable. Time is about to get hard if this is true. So, Ashton, can you tell us the first one, what their first recommendation was to TDCJ?
Well, without reading all the legal jargon, basically they're saying that they're going to expect TDCJ to come out with a staffing plan, a longevity staffing plan, and any of the units that are not properly staffed and cannot be properly staffed need to be shut down, and the inmates and staff be sent to other units. So I kind of take that as they're fixing to overcrowd a whole bunch of units.
Okay, well, you left out the main part. The very first thing you told me was they're recommending that they remove the population limit on prisons first.
Oh, yeah,
to be able to do this.
That's the other part. They're going to statutorily remove maximum capacity numbers.
Right. So
there will be no maximum.
To explain to the viewers, every prison has a certified limit that it can't cross, whether that prison be 2,000, 1,200, 5,000. They have some 5,000 man stuff like that. That's maximum capacity. That's one body in every cell on that facility. That's full up from the SHU to closed custody, medium custody, general population, to the prison camp. If there's a trustee camp out there, everything, right? So they're recommending that they remove that limit. Think about that for a while. Like they already have prisons right now where men are sleeping in the gyms. Okay, overcrowding has happened. There used to be, I remember, approximately 150 prisons due to budget shortages, lack of maintenance. Some of them just being old. They're down to 100 prisons. Right. AR, when you was in prison back in the day, there was 150,000 people. Probably that was at the end of them building maybe 150 prisons. Right now they have 130,000 people with 100 prisons. So the ratio is off right now, really bad, right, compared to what it was when they had everything running copacetic. But can you, my man, imagine this? You already got people sleeping in the gym, right? Miserable. They're out of there. They don't have a cell, no privacy, nothing. The temperature is hot and cold out there, and now they're getting ready to bring in more people. Where are they gonna put them?
Yeah, I have no idea. Unless it's like we was talking about, earlier. Unless it's like Harris County where they're just sleeping all over the floor and by the showers and under the telephones and just wherever they could get in to fit in. I mean, I don't know where they could put them. The only thing I do know and I remember was as crowded as it was when I was in there, and that was just back in the day. It wasn't because of any other reason, just overcrowding. You get frustrated when there's a lot of people in there and it's hot, dog. You get really frustrated. You know what I mean? Yeah, dog. I hate not that any less people would make it better, but when there's a lot of people in there, dog, you get really frustrated when you're really hot and sweating, and there's nothing you can do to stop sweating. You done took 2 or 3 showers and chilling in front of your fan, and
So listen, actually, in one of the prison family groups recently, somebody said that their loved one had been sleeping in the day room for a couple weeks, and there was multiple of them with no mattress, no sheet, no anything, like just out sleeping in the day room. I don't remember what prison it was, but that was a real true. I'm not making it up. I know it sounds crazy, but they were really reporting this. And you hear the stories and you find out things. You have to hear it from the loved ones. You have to hear it from their girlfriend. You have to hear it from their mama because nobody else knows. Their TDC is never going to come out and say, we got people sleeping on the day room floor, stuff like that, right?
Hey,
but I hold on. What?
No, do you remember that AM station that used to shout out to all the inmates in TDC back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
It was an AM station that you could call into him. I don't know if he's still around, but this was years ago. You call into him and say, "Hey, I want to shout out Jim Snow."
Used to play the I want to say KCOH is what it was.
It wasn't okay, bro. I was in there in '95, so it's been so goddamn long.
They did it for a long time, and then the 102 point, I think it's 102.5 in Beaumont does the same thing. Remember?
Hey, look, Brotherson hitting us up.
Well, Brotherson, what's up, Brotherson? Salute to the coolest prison guard ever, right there.
Man, that's
so,
him,
but let me tell you something. Why would somebody be calling me? Check this out. They did this in the 80s. And I don't think either one of y'all know about this, but I know about it for a fact because there was a giant riot on East Ham over this. In the 80s, they put tents out in the rec yard, and they had people sleeping out in the tents. TDC will do whatever they want to you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Imagine people think they got it hard right now. Imagine them sleeping out in them tents on the rec yard while it's cold as hell, it's hot as hell. That's a bad time right there.
Yeah, that's hard.
Can you guys just imagine the hostility that's fixing to happen if they do this?
No, I can't.
I can't even imagine what's going to happen.
So from the guards, also, the guards are going to be frustrated because TDC will already take a guard from Galveston and work them in Huntsville, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Put them in that little housing and all that. So, yeah, it's going to be guards that are like close to retirement that can't leave right now because they want that pension. They're going to have to leave their units and move somewhere. Get up and relocate their entire families over there. But this is the crazy part. She said, and it said, that the prisons that are problematic to staff need to be closed. Isn't that all of them?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Well, another thing they're talking about is in recommendation 1.3 to eliminate the requirement for TDCJ to maintain state jails in 9 regions from the statute. So I don't know if that means they're going to eliminate state jails, period, or they're just going to eliminate TDCJ's responsibility to them and just keep them all private. I don't know.
Also, man, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't understand, because until they change the laws and there stop being state jail felonies, how can you stop having state jails?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
they're the legislator, they're the laws. Maybe they're planning on eliminating state jail felonies. I don't know. We have less than a gram of narcotics as a state jail felony. Burglary of a building, things like that, state jail felonies. All that might just turn into a TDC crime, but it's literally not gonna free up any beds. It's just gonna send them to prison with a different amount of time. They're still gone for getting caught. So that recommendation threw me for a loop right there. Like,
yeah,
what do you mean they're not? So maybe create another agency for them. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's like a lot of them right now are privately owned, but we all know how that's working out.
right. Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. Are there more private jails around just waiting on some people to come or something?
Joe Corley, all of them like that. Yeah, bunch
Joe
of
Corley was private.
privately owned. George Bush owns Joe Corley.
Man, Joe Corley was the easiest place ever to bring anything in, man.
Man,
You know what? Listen, I never told either one of y'all this story. When I was at the federal halfway house getting ready to come home, that's when Hurricane Harvey came, and it flooded us out so bad at this halfway house that they could no longer get us any food. We weren't allowed to leave, and they couldn't feed us. The vending machines were empty.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So look, people immediately with that old BS stuff, they was calling their mamas and calling everybody, having them call the feds. Like, hey, you got inmates, y'all can't feed them. We need y'all to give them food. So they pulled some chain buses out front on surprise and just loaded us all back and took us back to Joe Corley and locked us back up.
Yep. Hey, that's crazy you said that, because I was right there. I was still at FDC when Harvey came through.
Yeah, you hadn't got out yet.
Nuh-uh. And they sent a lot of people back from the halfway house back to there as well. So I guess they kind of split them up. They must have sent some to Joe Corley and some.
When we got if Brotherson listen to this, Brotherson gonna laugh. So when we got to Joe Corley, they bring you in that they have a couple of tanks right there. They have 2 desks where you talk and they ask you if you're a gang member and all that, and a couple of little offices. Man, we had so many people. We was bum rushing them. They was calling us out. We would put the bag right here with the cell phones, everything in there. Grab the bag. Somebody for that already got searched their property would just grab the bag and bring it into the next tank. When we was in Joe Corley, man, there was at least at the bare minimum 40 cell phones, 50 cell phones, something like that. You know what I'm saying? People were bringing in cartons of cigarettes. People was bringing in alcohol, bro. Like Joe Corley got bent over on that one. Like, their security. But it only happened because so many of us came in at one time. Right. And then it was very rare, but all the females came from the halfway house too, and they had to keep it separated. The females were being extra rowdy, trying to distract them from us bringing in all the phones and stuff. It was crazy, man. I ain't lying. We got down on that one. But at the same time, I was telling them, man, say, if you get caught with that phone, it's some more time. Like, you're literally in the halfway house, dog. I think you could probably go a week or 2 without talking to your woman. You know what I mean? Like,
but when you figure you got it that far, it's like, what? You know what I mean?
They was in there. They was in their chargers, everything. A few people didn't have their chargers. They was going back and forth to Rick, swapping out, handing out the chargers and stuff. Yeah. It was crazy. It was extremely crazy. But so this stuff about removing the population limit, closing prisons that's hard to staff, right? First of all, we talked about this earlier. These prisons should never be even where they're at right now. You built these damn prisons that need all these people, hundreds and hundreds of people to work in them, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Who did you plan on working at these things?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think their plan was? Asking, like, let me build this prison in little bitty no town, and like, it's going to be hard to staff forever and ever, right? Like, they're going to have to put these things, if they build more near Dallas, more near Houston, stuff like that. And then even some of the ones near Houston, though, we were talking about, are low on staff.
Yeah.
The 4th largest city
is big time.
Hey, it's like Lucas said, they don't pay shit, dog. That's one of the big problems. They don't pay anything. Right. So why are you gonna waste your time and your trouble and you know, your worry is going there when you can make the same amount of thing, you know, driving a forklift or whatever, you know.
I know
Him
it.
and I
Hey,
just talked about this yesterday. You know, I asked him, what does he think the solution is? Pay more people, but nobody wants to work there in the condition it's in at all.
so first of all, if you're watching this, double tap the screen for us, please, for this content. Like click, try to knock me out with your finger. Give AR a black eye or something with your finger. All you
There
do
you
is
go.
double tap it. That's a thumbs up. But don't hit the women, please. All right.
Mhm.
So anyway, first of all, they're gonna have to end up air conditioning these people to get a staff. Like who the hell wants to work in this place where you gotta walk all this distance all day? You might get hurt. You know what I'm saying? They're not even giving their listen, Ashley, you know, how many reports have we got of them not even giving their guards bottled water right now?
Yeah.
Numerous. Or they're limited, I think, to 2 a day, something like that.
Wow.
Because they can't bring any of their own liquid in anymore for obvious reasons. And they're just, middle of the summer, we were getting all kinds of complaints that they were limiting them for 2 a day, even if they were meant to work overtime.
Wow.
Why, you don't even get extra water for overtime?
No.
Think about that. You're a state employee hold on. First of all, look, you're a state employee that they trust so little that you can't bring your own water to drink, but they'll only give you 2 bottles and you're walking around in 130-degree buildings all day.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you imagine the people that work out in the pickets and half those ACs don't even work? Out there, the window units, they don't work at all. So they're just baking up there.
No, hell no. They're like, this ain't the life you want in there or working for these people until they start.
Exactly.
So they start fixing things like that. They're Ashlyn, here goes another one. They're not paying these people their paychecks.
I was just about to say that. How are you even going to expect people to say they close down a unit and expect you to drive, 100 miles to the other unit, but they're not paying you overtime? They're not even paying you, for some of your hours, your regular hours right now. So where's the perk to it,
Right.
When these multiple officers from multiple units are saying they're basically being voluntold to work this overtime, like they have no real choice but to work this overtime, and then they're having to wait months for their overtime check. I don't see how that's legal, man. That's crazy. I know the government does what they want to. It's a state agency, but what in the hell? How's that okay?
Yeah.
It's not, and that's why it hit the news this week. It's not okay.
Did it hit the news this week?
It did.
Oh, see, I'm surprised. We've been talking about this for like months now. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Shout out to the troll. He probably is the one that got it on the news. You know what I mean? Straight up. But so something else, another recommendation that you were talking about. Can we talk about that next? Where about the board members and having to make themselves publicly available or something like that?
Let me find the verbiage here. Yes.
Double tap the screen, y'all. Take your finger. If you're watching live, tap 2 times on the screen for us so you hit that thumbs up. If you're watching on the replay, just hit the regular thumbs up, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, so first of all, under issue 7, it says the state has a continuing need for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Recommendation 7.1, a change in the statute. Continue the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and Texas Board of Criminal Justice for 12 years. So basically that's stating that they're going to make a statute change that requires the prison system and the board to be still in play for the next 12 years.
Right. The dumbest, most useless recommendation I've ever heard of right there. They literally wasted ink saying we recommend TDC don't go nowhere.
Okay, so issue 8, it says the Texas Criminal Justice Entity Statute and processes do not reflect some standard elements of sunset reviews. Change in statute. Recommendation 8.1, update for the committee the standard across the board requirements regarding grounds for removal of a board member. So as of right now, all of them are appointed, and unless they're removed by the governor, they don't have that process. So they're going to make that statute change.
So they are appointed by the governor?
They are. 8.2 recommendation, update for TDCJ and BPP, which is the Board of Pardons and Parole, and the committee, the standard across the board requirement related to board member training. So I guess now they have to be actually officially trained to do their job.
Right. So I wonder what that training would entail. We got to make sure they know not to care about nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So instead of sensitivity training to be on this board, you got to do insensitivity training. We got to tear your heart out and throw it away for this job. That's what they're training them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're also going to require that at least 2 to 3 members have corporate and business experience, management experience.
So now the job just got saved for the elite. You got to be a CEO of a company or something to come work on the board.
Yes, basically. And okay, so what
That's
you were
crazy.
talking about is
Am I the only one that sees that like that? Did I hear that right?
Yeah,
you now got to be one of the personal friends that run a business. This is this give me job? Like what is that about?
You have experience in running multi-million-dollar corporations.
And how many people have that?
Yeah.
Not many.
Yeah, not many at all. So you just limited the possibility for 3 board members to the elite when they control the impoverished, mostly poverty people, even in society. But now they're going to be rolling over in prison too. That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. And the last one that you're talking about, it says update for BPP. The standard across the board requirement relating to developing and maintaining a complaints system and making information on complaints open to the public.
Okay, stop right there. So look, AR, these prison guards have no viable way right now of telling and reporting on each other. Like, say, if I see you raping an inmate in the shower, I ain't got no way to anonymously say, man, that fool was raping people in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's literally, you got to walk up to the captain or the sergeant or the lieutenant and go, Lou, AR's over there doing this. You know what I mean? And now you put yourself in, basically, there's no internal whistleblower type stuff available. And these people are about to mandate that. But I don't, it's crazy that that's necessary. But I guess as a corporation. So are they a corporation? Are they pseudo police officers? Some of them act like they're in the army. What do we even consider other than just guards, like the same ones at Walmart? Like these prison guards are basically the ones at Walmart. They're the ones at the amusement parks, at the movies. You know what I mean? That's about how well they're trained.
Just like the feds in the state, they run them like sergeants, lieutenants, captains. You know what I mean? You know, they have their structure.
To me, it seemed like the federal prison guards were a little higher caliber than the state ones.
Yeah. No, totally.
Well, one of the changes that they also made as far as the staff is concerned is anybody that hires on with prior military experience, prior correction officer experience, police experience will actually get to go through a fast track academy so they can get to work quicker. They don't have to actually go through the whole thing.
Huh.
I get that.
Oh,
so ex-prison guards told me that in that training academy, they taught him and trained him that his most powerful weapon and to use it all the time was his little rule book and to write as many cases as possible.
Oh my God.
Like they're literally teaching these rookies to come in and just write so we always wondered why the rookies would come in so gun-ho, like tripping like that. They're literally training them to come do that. And then while very quickly after that, they usually calm down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Brotherson's asking. So Brotherson said, look, I don't want to diss all prison guards because we got Brotherson in there, man. He was the realest one ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brotherson can come to the house and eat some barbecue whenever he wants to. And he was a guard. You know what I mean? But he was very rare. Yeah. There was that place has some, like I say, the feds guards seem more maybe like they had education. Like maybe they went to college or something. I don't know if I'm making that up or what. When the TDC guards, a lot of them, maybe barely had a GED or something.
Yeah,
that's me paraphrasing it. You know what I mean? It was different.
Brotherson asking if I was in 6 East at FCC. I was in 4. I think it was 4 West. When we were in 4 West.
4 West.
With skits. And,
we were where the workers were. Brother. AR was Suicide Watch.
Yeah.
And what was I getting ready to say? Anyway, so it was a little bit different, but this is crazy. What I wanted you to talk about is the part where now they have to make themselves available to the public. Remember when we were saying it's the only state agency that has people like this where they didn't even have their self available. Like you didn't even know how to contact these people.
Right. That's a big issue. Is these are appointed people by the states, but yet advocates, families, inmates, nobody knows how to reach them, and they are the top tier of complaining. I mean, if you have a grievance to file for, say Brian Collier, who do you file it with? You're supposed to be able to go to the board, but yet there's nowhere that anybody can find that produces their contact information, an email, a phone number, anything.
Right. That's crazy. He said he seen skits the other day at Walmart. That's crazy. Yeah, no, so that's crazy too. So I'm gonna assume that they're gonna, this is what I'm gonna predict, right? And I'm pretty good at predicting this, suckers. I'm gonna assume they take the advice on the 3 elites now. Okay. And I'm gonna say they ignore the advice on must make themselves available to the public. How much you want to bet?
Yeah.
Right.
I would almost bet I'll cut my right toe off if I'm wrong. How about that?
No, I believe it.
They're
Well, we're supposed to be creating a system where the staff can make anonymous complaints too, but
that's what I was talking about earlier. Right. I know. Like,
supposed to already have it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the staff themselves, why nobody wants to work here and people quit in TDC? The staffs themselves will get treated worse than an inmate if they try to report something that ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Within the
by
prison.
the other guard's gonna dog them out so bad.
Right.
The rank is gonna put them on the shift. If you got kids, you're working third shift, you're working overnights, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, they're gonna do you dirty if you try to report or buck the system on them. You can't get in the way. So it's literally, I just don't see no cure for this. I don't see no fix for this, man. This is like crazy. But I knew one thing for sure. That Sunset Commission wasn't going to do nothing, man. So many people had faith in that. And I hate to be Debbie Downer. And I wasn't talking about it to be one. But I am one because it's realistic, right? If that commission was about anything, they would have already had, every officer would have had a walkie-talkie. You know what I'm saying? Like they would not have all these problems that they're having right now. It is crazy. So it's unfortunate that it didn't.
Something too, real quick. So we're not talking about the Board of Pardons and Paroles not having contact info, because we do have that. We're talking about the Texas Board of Criminal Justice, the top, however many there are. Nobody can get. There's not a way to get a hold of them unless you know what their real job is, and you can contact them at their real job. You can't find a board member's actual board
email, right?
Nope.
All right. So kind of, man, when she just told me about the 3 that have to have this business experience and all this, that really struck me as don't sound right, because that just took it up to another notch. And these going to be the people. And I'm not for crime or criminals, never that. You know what I mean? Not at all. It's just embarrassing and it's wrong and it's crazy to watch our prison system still be like the 1800s, man, when everybody else is at least somewhat modern. Like, come on, Texas, they run a low budget program, or they always say they don't have enough money for everything. Yeah, we got billions of dollars of surpluses. You know what I mean? It's crazy. This is crazy for them to say that they're going to close prisons, remove the population limit, close prisons, and relocate people is just insane.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. So does this open the door for what a lot of legal professionals are saying, that they're going to start demanding a mass release?
See, they've been saying that, though. They've
been
talking about that, with overcrowding and, the, what do they call that? The open door policy or swinging door policy, where people coming in and out. But I don't know. I mean, if it is, that'd be one thing. I know they did a little something like that because they shot my brother out for COVID. Whenever COVID was happening and all that, he was doing a little like 18 months or something, like 15 months. And
man, bro, you know how many people died in there from COVID and guards?
I don't, but no.
I did a video. It wasn't even very far into it. It was like 35 guards already dead from it, caught it in there.
Damn, that's wild.
They was dropping like flies.
One thing that they're not figuring is at the first of the year, the immigration situation is about to hit the fan in Texas, and
Yep.
they're going to be using our prisons for it. So what are
Yep.
we going to do with everybody?
Yeah.
So I think it was Briscoe unit that they were going to clear out, totally clear out Briscoe unit. That's probably 1,200 men right there that need a place to go, be sleeping in the gym somewhere. You know it?
Bro, you heard what she just talking about with January was coming in January? Briscoe unit ain't going to do it.
No.
No,
So
it
yeah,
ain't.
no. But that's what I'm saying. So that's what they're playing, though. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so the ones getting deported, they got a whole nother problem with that, because now we're looking at federal prisons and federal detention centers and all that, and they just don't have no place for them either. There is no place to put these illegal aliens when they go to
they're
deport
going to start state charging them, not just federally. Now
Right,
you're going
so-
to do state crime first.
That one, right? So the first one. Here's the problem with that. Okay, we have places like Harris County, we have places like Fort Worth, places like Dallas, San Antonio, Bexar County, to even Nueces County, right? That these are big counties with real active county jails. They're full. Their county jails are full, but they have the most population probably of the people that are here illegally. So the first one is supposed to be a misdemeanor, right? Like, I think it's going to be a misdemeanor and then go up to a state jail felony, if I'm not mistaken, for being here. And then if they get another one, it's going to be enhanced to TDC felony. Okay, so there's another reason why them saying state jails aren't mandatory anymore. I have no idea, because that's coming. But
That's
that
what I
law,
was just about to say.
so that law, though, is still in limbo. They're taking that all the way to the Supreme Court, saying the state doesn't have that right to do it. And you know, Greg Abbott is going to go to the Supreme Court and fight that all the way. Like, he's trying to get it. And then if Trump is supposed to, two Supreme Court justices are about to retire during Trump's time here, and he's going to be appointing those two. He's going to have 5 Supreme Court justices that he appointed. I think that's more than any president has ever done.
And this is because he appointed some from his last term.
Three last term,
right?
Which is a lot. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. 3 last term and 2 this time. Unless these 2 are unfriendly to him, they're going to try to stay alive till then. But so he's getting ready to get them. Everything is going to change in the USA when you take things to the Supreme Court. So if a law right now like that doesn't make it, and Trump appoints 2 more, it's guaranteed. There's only 9 justices. So when you have 5 of them appointed by this Republican conservative guy, all laws are getting ready to change. All kind of stuff are starting to change. But also,
the House and the Senate.
Yeah, right. But listen, but in all reality, the Supreme Court is more powerful than the House and the Senate. That's why they're in office for life, right?
Right.
A lot of people don't know. Once you get appointed to the Supreme Court justice, that's for life.
Yeah.
And they do that so you don't have to be loyal to one side or the other. Yeah. But then you got people like, listen, Clarence Thomas, the black man that's the Supreme Court justice, really smart. Like, Clarence Thomas is a Republican conservative, but he was caught taking vacations with people and yacht trips and all kind of crazy stuff, right? Like, so they're fallible also. They're not perfect humans or anything, but stuff like that law is going to win for sure. But what that is going to do, when Trump appoints 5 of his people to that Supreme Court that are Republicans, they're conservative, they're going to be, this is the key, they're going to be hard on crime. So people with any type of chance of a death penalty case, any type of like life sentences they're trying to appeal or something, for the most part, the Supreme Court is just going to deny to even hear those. You know what I'm saying? Because if they refuse to look at your case, then the lower court ruling stands. So anybody who's like trying to appeal a case to the Supreme Court to save their life or anything like that might as well give it up soon, and expect probably Abbott to make more laws and they hold. But if that does pass, Ashlyn, look, what did you say? So let me back up one step. I apologize. AR, you said something earlier about Harris County Jail and the crowding, right?
Yeah.
When you went so unfortunately, and the case got dismissed, but you was in Harris County a while back. Like, that was about 2 years ago, probably, huh?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
What was the population looking like in there? What was it crowded? Was there room? Could you stretch out? Everybody get going? What was happening in Harris County Jail when you was in there?
It was overcrowded, bro. And like right when you come in, it took me 3 days of moving from cell to cell to cell to get to actual room, with people. We was downstairs just going from
Sleeping on your shoe?
Sleeping on your shoes, sleeping on toilet paper for like
Man,
3
say, man,
days,
they got
eating
like,
Johnny's. It
you
hadn't
gotta be a
changed.
bad mofo to sleep on some toilet paper in them big old tanks with them 60 people in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but yeah, still about 3 days, and then before you're up into an actual cell
So
somewhere.
let me tell him what you're talking about, because I remember he's talking about it when you walk in Harris County Jail. They take your fingerprints, do all this stuff, and put you in a big old room with nothing in it but a bunch of people that stink, that smell, they're stressed out because they listen. Your body has this weird smell to it when you're really, really stressed out, dog. Like going to jail. You know what? Everybody's body does it. It's like a weird, different, musty smell. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah. You walk in that thing and it's that musty smell where these dudes are like, they've been on police chases. They've been Rojo. What's up, Rojo? So yeah, listen, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to my dude, even though he don't do content anymore. Shout out to Rojo. And but listen, so you walk into this room, right? And it's big. There's people in here, you don't know none of them. They stink. Some of them look dangerous. Some of them look crazy. Some of them look like they're detoxing. They're on crack, man. And you don't know what is going on with these people. Some of them killed people. Some of them are child molesters in here. Some of them cool. Like you might kick it with some of them. Who knows? But you come into this room and then they call you like way later. And just you get excited, like I didn't know what was going on. Like, oh man, I'm finally fixing to go upstairs. Yeah, I'm gonna I can rest. They get everybody up and just move you into another room exactly like that.
Exactly like that.
For a whole another 24 hours.
Yeah.
Were they still giving you those green bologna sandwiches?
Same thing.
Were they still green?
Yeah.
Do they make those green on purpose? Ashley,
I don't know.
Bologna? Is that real? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I gave mine away.
I ain't never seen green bologna. If I did, I wouldn't touch it.
No, Harris County has these pieces of bologna that's vacuum sealed. You gotta pull it apart like a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
And all of them was green the whole time in there. And I didn't know if it was old,
all the preservatives, or I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it was. So so that's your second room. You're 48 hours in. You're in your second room. You're still sleeping on your tennis shoe for a pillow. People farting at this point. They're getting worse on the detox. They're getting sick. They call your name. Everybody stand up. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm finally finna go get a bunk. I'm going upstairs. I get to rest. And then you walk into another room just like that one. Here goes another 24 hours. That's how it went for me, too. 3 days. They do it on purpose. So now you're 3 days in, sleeping on this floor, using your shoe for a pillow, maybe not eating the green bologna. I ate it. Say, you gonna give that green bologna here, man? Give me that green bologna. I don't care. I'm not going upstairs with malnutrition and can't do a push-up because I ain't ate in 3 days. You feel me? I ain't gonna do that, right? So anyway,
and that kind of leads me back to like the Sunset Commission report. So did you notice the one thing it did not touch on at all was the quality of the food?
Yeah,
healthcare,
of course.
mental health care, the drugs. It didn't say a word about any of that.
No, we knew it wasn't going to say anything real. So let me get back to this, right? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, ma'am. You are the guest, so I apologize, right? I talk too much. So AR, this is my first time in Harris County Jail, right? I seen Rojo say he was in Harris County too. So look, day 3. Now they call us, and I'm like, this is trash. I'm going to another room.
Right.
What the man, golly, you know what I'm saying? But no, now I'm going to a tank. And I'm like, but look, I'm like, man, thank God. I'm finna give me a bed. I'm gonna bunk. I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna stretch out. My back hurts. I've been using a shoe for a pillow for 3 days. I'm hungry. Like, let me go upstairs. Let me get a real tray. Let me do right. So you get your mat and everything. They take me personally, walk me into the dorm, and the first thing I see is I gotta watch where I step, or I'm gonna step on somebody. No, I'm like, what is going on? There's people sleeping on the floor. There's somebody sleeping on the picnic table, somebody under the picnic table. There's people with their heads by the toilet. I'm like, what is happening in here? Like, this is crazy. Right? This is a 48. There's 48 bunk. There's 24 bunk beds. So there's 48 beds. And we had something like 80 people in there.
Yeah.
Right? Cramped little space. You're all sharing a shower. You're all sharing 2 toilets. One you pee on, one you number 2 on. And you better not get them confused. You know what I
That's
mean?
damn right. You better not.
But you got people that sleep. So here's what you quickly realize. Oh, that's them old dope fiends over there by the toilet. They got their head by the toilet.
Right.
Oh, these dudes, yeah, they don't look too solid either on the floor over here. Like, well, that dude on the picnic table got to be mental.
Yeah.
And then you start looking in the better bunks and you start seeing who's really like, oh, yeah, no, I see. Yeah, he got a bunk. Hey, if you're about it, man, you're going to see somebody in one of them 48 bunks you can tell to get up out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hate to say it. If you're Mexican, you might find some old Mexican man and be like, yo, bro, I'm sorry, man. I got to have a bump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And raise up an old white man if you're white. Who cares? The black dude's going to raise one up. It don't, like, that's how this works. Like, hey, man, I seen a guy in Harris County say his bed was uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to say he was from 5th Ward, but I'm not sure. Either Acres Homes, 5th Ward. He said his bed was uncomfortable and he didn't like his mat.
Yeah.
So he went and took somebody's off the floor. Now he got 2 mats. He said, oh, yeah, that's much better.
Much better.
Then what he said, I wonder if 3 will be better than these 2. So now we got somebody sleeping on the floor with no mattress that didn't do nothing about it.
I've seen their, and I'm not going to say anything that anybody hasn't heard already or anything, but I've sat there and watched them take their commissary from them. You know, just right there, dog. It's like you just feel bad for the person. You know, you're like, man, he didn't do nothing about it. Just watch. You know, he saw it. Every bit of it. Didn't do anything. You know, it's like,
of course. So
man,
you want to hear a crazy story quick? I got other one. I got a million prison stories. I just stopped telling them on purpose.
Yeah.
Look, I was in a 12-man tank, and this is in Nueces County. I was in a 12-man tank, and y'all listen. If y'all want to hear this prison story, double tap the screen. Double tap. It's actually a county jail story. Tap. Try to punch me, knock AR out, leave the woman alone. But double tap the screen and get them thumbs up for us. And I'm gonna tell you the story. So I'm in the county jail in Nueces County. I don't know nobody. It's 11-man tank. There's 10 Mexicans. There's a white guy that's not even a wood. He's never even been to jail before, but he's really big and he's like a bodybuilder, right? Like I can clearly tell that he's on probably some steroids or something. Bodybuilder, but he's like a surfer dude. He talks like a surfer. And over there, they're more cholo gangster, right? They're not into that shit. So I come in and I tell them I'm a Crip from Galveston, and they ain't really got no problem with it. Like they don't even know no Crips down there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, all right then, G-Town, whatever. So the first time they run rec, I stay back. I'm like, man, I ain't going to no rec. I don't want to go play ball. I don't know none of these people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sit back, watch TV. Well, this big cat named Freddie D from the north side of Corpus. Anybody from Corpus, y'all know big, tall Freddie D, Corpitos. Tell him I said, what's up? That was my dude. So listen, Freddie comes out there, and I ain't got no commissary, no store, nothing. I just get there. Freddie say, G-Town, you want to eat? You hungry? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, if you gonna cook something out, you know, hell yeah, I'm hungry, man. He was like, bet. So he gets his bowl and another bowl, I guess 2 bowls, and he goes into the white dude's locker.
Okay.
While he's at rec. And I'm like, man, what the hell is this dude doing?
Yeah.
Bro, he pours out some beans in both bowls, gets the soups, you know what I'm saying? Freddie gets everything you need, like some peppers, whatever this dude had, and makes his 2 bowls right out of his locker. Now I'm thinking, man, what's going on in here? Like, this is crazy. Like, we're robbing it. Like, Freddie, you asked me if I wanted to eat, but you didn't ask me if I wanted to rob this man. You know what I'm saying? And I even told him when we started eating, I'm like, bro, you do this a lot? And he was like, what? I say, bro, rob this man. He was like, every time he goes to rec. Freddie said, every time he goes to rec. And the dude is like a bodybuilder. Like, what you tripping on? But guess what? Them 10 Mexicans would have smashed him behind Freddie. They like Freddie the best. You know what I mean? Right, so exactly. Prison, jail, man, that's crazy. You could be a bodybuilder in there getting your locker took.
Bro, when I got to the feds, when I got to the medium, I take that back. When I got to the medium, one of the homeboys, you know, you just get there in the middle of the night. He couldn't check my tats yet or anything real quick, you know, so I ended up getting a bump. And then in the morning, he comes real hard, dog, real ugly. He comes, let me see your tats, dog. So he's looking at all my tats, making sure I'm legit or whatever.
When you first got there?
When I first got there.
Yeah.
And where you coming from? I told him I'm coming from, from USP. And all right, we still got to see your paperwork and all this bullshit, whatever. But my point is, this fool he was the first one to jump out of his bunk. He was the first one to come check me. He was the first one to want to see my tats. He was the first one to make sure, in the morning, I was the one, everything was right, just right on me. I had my paperwork. I was supposed to send it to. And a lot of the homeboys are like, man, the homeboy just came from the USP. Give him some
why y'all tripping? What's going on?
It wasn't y'all. It was this fool. And so anyway, long story short, same fool, dog. It came down to some bullshit with another homeboy. Shout out to Boy Seal if you ever watch his homie, Boy Seal out of ATX. They got into it. Him and the same homeboy at H-Town. And man, when I say he caught that real quick, dog, he caught it, dog. He caught that. Ran out the cell. Ran into
the one that was checking you.
The one that was checking me, bro. The one that was checking me.
That's crazy.
Homeboy called him out. Was about to fight him. He got so scared. He ran up out the cell and ran into the CO's office and told him, hey, homeboy wants to fight me. Blah blah blah. So they took him.
Nah, you're kidding me, really?
But this is what came to the worst part. What you were talking about earlier about eating good. So we all lived in a 6-man tank together. I was in there with them. Man, they kicked they kicked old boy's locker open and took every bit of every food he had. And I'm talking spread, bro.
My bad,
we made like 4 pizzas and some nachos. And I mean, we ate good. I mean, we ate real good, but it's like, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, I'm saying it's like, when you get a homeboy that's going to catch that shit like that, like, man.
I mean, no, you're supposed, hell no, for real. I mean, like, he didn't even expect that. You feel me? Like, that was a guarantee. None of that's coming.
Hell
but bro,
no. Hey,
so listen, hold on.
Hey, the funny part is, you know how the CO comes for his stuff later, right? You know how they come because he's so they came for his stuff later. Man, all he had were his picture books. That was all he had left. A little paperwork and some picture books. And that man,
I don't know if we would have left him his picture books. If you want to know the truth, it depends on how pretty his girl was or something.
Right,
we didn't expose them pictures. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got these pictures on the market, y'all. This is crazy. But so this is what I didn't know when I was in there, and people would check in. They go PC, and they was holding them back in that hole for about 1.5 years, making them punishing them. Yeah, that was their way of making you not want to go to the hole. Yeah, not check in. You're gonna stay back in that rat hole with the rats and all roaches and ants and everything else back there. Y'all double tap the screen for me, man. We got 364 watching. Make sure you pop, tap it. So, Ashlyn, what do you really think though about that? Are they really gonna close these prisons? And I don't think it's gonna happen. I think this whole committee is gonna be ignored.
I don't see how they can close these prisons down realistically. I really don't. I mean, just a couple months ago, they were talking about opening up new units, opening up old units that have already been closed. So for them to come back and say today that they should just close down the problem units, I just don't see where that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. And somebody mentioned to you earlier about that they didn't make any recommendations about the suicides, the violence, and the drugs. You see that? Did you see that earlier in the comments?
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. That's true.
No medical, no mental health, no drugs, none of the violence, anything that is a day-to-day occurrence that we talk about all the time.
Right.
None of it was touched. The food, nothing. Just, it was basically parole, education and programs. Now that part is hopeful, very hopeful on that one. Wyndham is actually going to be taking over all of the schooling back again, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And then just the staffing problems, but anything that's real day-to-day issues with these men and women, no, not at all. It's very, very sad. We have all these deaths. A lot of them have to do with just medical neglect, but they didn't even peep about medical.
Wow. So we're just gonna have to disregard this whole entire Sunset Commission, and so I'm sorry, man. That's why the prison activists, and I say this all the time, why they don't like me, because I'll come on this channel literally and say, hey, what did I tell you? and this is hilarious. What's behind you right there? I told her, AR, that you can hit a brick wall with your forehead so many times that you end up knocking that brick wall down. It'll take a bunch of times, but you won't have no forehead left.
Right.
You feel me? Like, that's what it's like going against the system, man. That's what it's like going against the governor and the board and people like this. And especially now, it's going to be 3 elite people, because I know they're going to take that recommendation. That's being a prison activist, reformist, whatever you call it. Man, that's a real life frustrating job that these people are taking on voluntarily. So I give them their props and I give them their credit. That's up. People like Ashlyn. So she today, when I asked her to come on the show, she had one of the best victories that I've heard of in a while. Do you want to talk about? You ain't got to say his name or anything. Like, tell him what just happened. Like, so you got the call and did the thing. I never heard it happen. You want to talk about it?
I mean, we can.
I do.
So I'm an advocate for Texas Cure, and I have a person on my list that was having some parole issues. Finally got that cleared about a month ago, and he was released from his unit. Within 16 hours, he was rearrested because the GPS monitor essentially sent a false signal and created a warrant for him. So when he went to go and report for his first parole meeting, he was locked up. Fast forward to 3 weeks later. So last Thursday, we had a parole. What's the word I'm looking for? Not a revocation hearing, but when they can a parole reinstatement.
Oh yeah,
hearing.
reinstatement.
So he went through the parole reinstatement hearing.
Hold on, what brought about such a fast parole reinstatement hearing? I've never heard of this before. Like, how did this?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know why it happened so quickly. My guess.
Do you think word from maybe they tested that monitor and found out, hey, he wasn't lying? Like, what happened?
Well, they did. I mean, his PO from the very beginning, when she first went and saw him back in, because he's in Dallas County now, because obviously TDCJ released him. She basically told him, hey, look, if a paperwork would have hit my desk instead of a machine sending this warrant out, she would have never signed it. There's plenty of proof that basically he did what he was supposed to do. They had a flat tire on the way, so it was considered an unauthorized stop. And that's why the warrant was sent. So it was just a mess. So last Thursday was his hearing. I called at noon today to find out, do we have any change on this? And I was told, nope, he's still in review. Well, by 4:00 this afternoon, I was told he will be released tomorrow.
And at this point, does he even know yet? Have you told him?
I haven't been able to speak to him yet. He hasn't called me yet, and I figured he would. So he'll call me sometime tonight.
Yeah.
So AR, what you think on? Listen, this dude just did 25 years, dog. He did a real quarter. Yep. He only got out for 16 hours, and they violated him because he stopped for a flat tire and he couldn't get to the monitor thing, and got violated. Can you imagine how he felt going back to the county?
He made 7 to 9 phone calls, left all these voicemails, sent text messages to the one office he was given a number for.
Of course he did.
I called myself. We both asked to speak to supervisors. We were told a supervisor wasn't there. We played phone tag all day long. It was a mess. So there's not a reason this should have happened. And his defense for me is now the state just wasted all this taxpayer money and resources rehousing an offender that really didn't offend anywhere and shouldn't have been revoked. So there's all that money and another month of his life gone, almost a month to the day.
That's crazy.
So I'm gonna say that's the minimum. That's the minimum impact when you did 25 years. It's the mental trauma this did to this dude.
Yeah,
not the month. Say the mental trauma occurred as soon as he got arrested again. Like, oh man, you talk about the world's worst roller coaster. You do 25 years, come out in 16 hours.
Man, a month ain't nothing. You spend a month on the toilet. Come on, stop it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But that mental thing, that's like you. Hey, that's like, listen. Imagine like Mr. Larry, y'all. Rest in peace to my man, Mr. Larry. He did 42 years in there. Imagine Larry finally making parole after 42 years and then catching the case before it can be final. Imagine the mental roller coaster you would go through, stuff like that, especially a major one. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this guy had it even worse, AR. He touched the free world, though. He got out for 16 hours.
Yeah.
And they locked him right back up. So I feel like they really did know they made some type of mistake, or
Right. That's why they split it
maybe
up.
possibly even his parole officer went to bat for him on this, because there's never been a time where somebody gets violated and reinstated so fast. Something had to happen. I don't know. I'm just glad it did, though.
We've worked very hard on it. It's been a mess, and I can tell you, as of last night, even he was mentally not okay and kind of shut himself off to the world, because the way he put it to me was he's constantly being told, okay, go, go, go. Wait, nope, you have to stop now. And it's like red light, green light, that elementary school game. And it's been mentally wearing on him. So,
man, shout out to my boy Wayne. Man, my man Wayne Martin, one of the best viewers, just tapped that cash app. Wayne, I appreciate you, man. That's real life Christmas money. Wayne just bought half Ellis Christmas. Oh, ain't that crazy?
Awesome, yeah. Shout out, Wayne.
Dude. Wayne's brother is doing time, man, and he's a diesel mechanic around this area. And man, Wayne, I do want you to come link up with me one day for sure, man. I love this channel is changing my life, bro. Like literally, you see it happening. AR, you know me, man, the whole time. And you know what? I put on my community tab today the first video me and you ever did. If y'all even wondering who this AR guy is and why he's here, go back and watch the interview we did, and you'll see it on my community tab. You know what I mean? And we do go way back. And so this is how stuff works in full circle, Ashlyn. Like legit, me and AR met in the feds. Now we're on YouTube together with the prison guard that used to guard us in the comments.
Yeah. It's incredible, the small world of incarceration. It really is.
And then
even in this big old state of Texas, it's crazy.
And listen, I got a video on this channel too with Rojo from the Rojo room right there. And yeah, man, again, salute to Wayne. Thank you, brother. I'm sure you're watching. It definitely means a lot to me. I got a fire video with Rojo too. So Rojo, I think, was from Illinois, and then moved to Houston in A-Leaf, dog. And over there was running with a bunch of cats in A-Leaf, and I think went to Getting State School, TYC. That's rocking by it. Getting State School. And listen, check this out. I seen Rojo on the channel with the California dudes. Oh, Detroit. I'm sorry, my man. I apologize. It's been a while. I ain't heard of this in a while. So I seen Rojo on a video one time with Gunner and some other people. And I think I even came on, and he was trying to describe to them Getting State School. And it's like, man, that Getting State School was so rock and roll, it was kind of hard to describe. You feel me? Like they kind of wasn't catching the drill. Yeah, the people's getting their head busted out. I want to say, man, he told me a story about him. Yeah, y'all got to go watch that video I got with Rojo. It's fire, man. Real talk. And good dude, too. But, so, I don't know. The Sunset Commission thing really, really bugged me, because I've seen so many people actually get hope and really want to. And so you told me yourself that a lot, and I've noticed this, right? Like a lot of the activists that are serious and really pushing for change and stuff, it's just new to a lot of them also. You know what I mean? A lot of them come just like you did. You get involved because you have a child in the system or something like that. It's something that I feel like just a lot of people that wasn't involved in prison reform 12 years ago had a lot of hope in this thing right here. Could you feel it? I could feel it, where people really had not necessarily faith, but a very deep desire to see them do a change. And then we get this BS reply about nothing. It's hurtful. It's hurtful.
It is, because, I spent all day long in Austin testifying at this thing and watching everybody else and all of my colleagues and different friends and different advocates that I super respect testify in front of these people and interact with them. And they were asking questions of us. And majority of the questions they asked had to do with topics that they didn't even speak about. They didn't even touch on in this report. It's like, so, we all, I know I personally felt extremely hurt when it came to the mental health and suicide topic. And here we are, not a single word even brought about it. It's very disheartening. It's like, unless it's a topic that makes money, they didn't touch on it.
Right. It was a budget concern thing, and that's it. That's all it ended up being. So let me tell you something. Before I knew you, and I hadn't talked to AR for a while at this time, I did a story on Gibb Lewis Unit. Okay, Gibb Lewis Unit. There was a man in there that had been going crazy for a while. He wasn't on any meds or anything. He had been beaten. He was in SEG, right? He's behind a steel door. He had been beaten, yelling, screaming, knocking on the window, and people had been saying, get this man some help. He's suicidal. He's fixing to kill himself in here. Like he's screaming all this stuff, right? I don't know his exact words, but he's going nuts, and the other inmates are realizing. The guy lights himself on fire. Check this out, AR. He legit lights himself on fire. He's burning to death in here. He's turning into Freddy Krueger, melting. He got burned so bad that they said his tennis shoes stuck to the ground, right? Like his feet was melted to the ground. He got burned so bad. They fired the sergeant and a guy that was, I think he was OJT. He was brand new, just got to the job, because they literally stood out there and watched that happen. And the sergeant said, F him, let him burn.
Damn.
Now, I'm not saying, he's crazy, he lit himself up, right? It is what it is. I can even understand why she say, let him burn after working back there for 20, 30 years or whatever. I get both sides, but I'm just trying to explain to her, you Ashley, the attitude they have about suicides.
I know. If
you kill yourself, your fault, right? But I will say, so I do know of one time though on Beto. One time on Beto, I know for sure a man was hanging himself, and one of the officers broke their hand trying to cut him down. And they said, from the officers, told me they was trying to save his life and he was still alive. But in all reality, they could have broke their hand cutting him down after he was dead, and they was just trying to take credit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? They might have seen him hanging, went and ate lunch, came back, and then cut him down and broke their hand.
Or just saw him. Yeah.
Because that's the same unit. I have a video on this channel of them allowing a man to die in the hallway, standing on back up. He's dying, and the medical says, clear for medical. He denies injuries. And I couldn't post the next part where they're throwing him on the gurney like a sack of potatoes.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because y'all been inside. How do you feel about these officers that are allowed to tear gas, or all kinds of use of force things on people hanging in nooses or trying to cut themselves? They feel like that's the de-escalation process, and a suicide protocol is to shoot them with tear gas, assault them, do whatever. I mean, I just don't see that that's smart to do.
Yeah.
And then they're getting and like there's been cases where people are hanging in nooses unconscious, getting tear gassed, and then getting a case written for them about failure to obey with the orders. Well, they're unconscious in a noose. How can they get down?
Yeah, exactly.
So let me say this first, and I'm gonna answer, right? I understand inside of a prison full of very violent and deadly people that the only way to have any type of order is through force. It's the only thing these people understand, right? And I'm not talking about no low security, medium security. I'm talking about Ferguson, Cofield, Beto, all these places that are like, these are the worst of the worst. And I ain't dogging out no prisoners. I'm telling the truth. Like, these are the people that could not function in society. That's why they're in prison. I was there at one time. Like, you're not there because you like to follow rules. None of us was in prison because we cared what the cops thought. You understand? Nobody should expect us to walk into prison, removed from society for years, and start caring what the prison guard thinks or start caring what their rules are, right? What we got to figure out is that's what I told you, why I don't support a lot of shit, because I'm not trying to make it harder on these men that are just trying to live their life in there. Yes, they do not respect authority. I'm sorry. Prison does not teach a person to respect authority. Prison teaches people to hate authority. It's not a rehabilitative program. It teaches people to hate authority. We just did a story last night about a prison guard that was stealing pictures of people's kids and then got 33 counts of child abuse and molestation, right? We just did that. So it teaches them to hate authority. But what it also does is teach the prison guards to hate inmates.
Yeah.
It's natural. Right? It's natural. They have to. It's a war in there between the two. That's why when they call somebody a hug a thug and he's inmate friendly, why they get treated so bad, because this can be a war for life or death. Remember not too long ago, the video of the lady getting beat up in Ferguson because she wrote a man a masturbation case.
Yeah.
right? She was doing her job. Now he's punching her down in medical while she's working in there. All kind of stuff like that. So it's dangerous for them. But what it does is create the hostile environment, and it's toxic for everybody involved.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just every person that has a loved one in there has to understand it's every bit as toxic for them people that work in there too. You know, women guards get assaulted, man.
Yeah.
All constantly sexually assaulted. They get physically assaulted. Men guards physically assaulted. Women guards, whether they look good or not, all day people gonna be pulling out their thing, playing with it all day.
Yep.
If you're working a building and you're a woman guard, if this is a 200-man building, you're probably gonna see 50 penises. Everybody's not gonna do it, but you better be able to be ready to see about 50 a day,
Yeah.
whether you want to or not. Seeing them do crazy stuff, and a lot of them pulling out that. Not all of them, because a lot of them wasn't that type, but some of them was
Yeah.
in there for weird crimes.
Yeah.
Now imagine you being a woman guard working in a prison, and this man is in there for attacking and taking that from a woman. Now you're walking by for count, and he's killing you on you, gunning on you.
Hey, and check it out. Hey, Tim, real quick. And you said 50, right? Just
I'm just estimating.
Right.
Maybe
Okay,
that's high. That might be high, but you're gonna see at least 25.
Okay, let's say 25. And from all the prisons there is, because I remember a bunch on mine where I was, and what I kept thinking is, I wasn't that type of person, man. I had enough respect for a woman that I'm not going to do that to. If you're beautiful, I might think about you later when it's bedtime or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to disrespect you like that. And but there were a lot of people that did and would. And my thing was like, they're fixing to be out in society again. All these people that are doing that, I'm sitting here watching them, and I'm like, they're going to get out. These aren't lifers. These fools got 5, 10, 15 years.
People with 2-year sentences in there doing that.
Like you said, it might be 25, it might be 50 at this prison.
Convict ballerina used to be a prison guard. She said 50 sounds right to her.
Okay, there you go. I mean, I'm just saying, so but my thing was, it's like the 5 or 6 or 7 that I was around in my tank, I'm like, damn, fool, y'all. I mean, really? You can't look at a Playboy later tonight, a penthouse. You really got to do this, right? You know what I mean? It's like,
bro, they'd be sneaking around. Yeah, y'all. It's so we'll save that for a whole nother video.
Right.
It's purely disgusting, and it is a lack of self-respect, and because, man, it ain't that serious. Yeah, you got naked pictures in here, man. You know what I mean? You ain't never had no woman you can close your eyes and remember.
Exactly.
Because the ones they're doing it to, it's very rare that they look good. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Yeah. But 2, like I said, the whole thing that got me was like, you're doing this in here. What when you get out like to a swimming pool? What if you get out?
Hold on, look. Convict ballerina was on McConnell, said 50. Erica Sherro says she worked Gib Lewis. It's more like 100 over there. But here's the deal too. Rojo said in California they'd hit you for that, right? You're gonna be taken out. In the feds, that was unacceptable
it depends
too.
Where you are, man. Yeah.
In the feds, it was unacceptable too. But in Texas, I'm not gonna make no excuses for us. I can't explain it. It was going on when I got there, and it was going on when I left, and it's going on today. And I can't. Exactly. I had no power in myself to be the only one trying to walk around and hit 50 to 100 people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you mind your business, keep your eyes to yourself, mind your business, and nobody, if you got your respect, they're not going to do that within your eyesight. You better believe that.
Exactly.
But hey, if they like you and you got that big booty back there, they might do it looking at you.
Yeah, you sure.
Yeah, then what you going to do about that? And in the comments, tell me if you walked into a maximum security facility as a man, and a man starts looking at you and starts rubbing his thing in his pants, what you gonna do about it? Yeah. You ain't got no knife. You just got there. Nobody gonna even sell you a knife because you just got there. Like, it's real and it's gross. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't the life you want. This whole show, this whole platform this is not the life you want. So you'll experience a lot of that crazy stuff.
And if you do end up in that life, you better pray you about it. You better pray you about it, man.
And so it also pray that you know how to mind your business, though, bro. Pray that you know how to stop not gossip. Yeah. Because the number one, you could be the most abided ass person in the world, you go in there gossiping about people looking at things you see and commenting on them. Oh yeah, you're gonna end up somebody's little girl. You know what I mean? You mind your business, you keep your eyes to yourself, and you protect your manhood and your respect at all times, and you'll be all right. So when he says you got better be about it, he ain't saying you better be able to fight good.
No.
You just better be willing to fight.
Yeah.
That's it. Just be willing to fight because I promise you, there will be some people in there that aren't willing to fight.
Yeah. So
who you think they're gonna mess with? You don't really fight that good, but you gonna give them some fight, or that dude over there that's just gonna do whatever they say.
Yeah. But
so
it's one of those, and that's what I'll give it to is like, you don't have to fight well. You just got to fight, man. That way they know every time they come mess with this fool right here, man, this fool's gonna fight. I don't give a damn what it is. If we taking the soup, trying to take his shoes, whatever, he's gonna fight.
So I know, and I'm sorry, Ashley, we're getting off topic. I apologize if I'm sorry. We just got to sit in here. Oh, she's just listening to stories like, what the hell are these men talking about? We're not even here for this. My bad. Okay. But so Rojo, I'll tell you this. I was talking to Josh from the Homie Hangout, right? Shout out to Josh and the Homie Hangout. Y'all subscribe to the Homie Hangout. Cool dude. And I mentioned to him something about when I first got to prison, I didn't know how to make a mouthpiece. And he was like, what you mean? I'm like, mouthpiece? Like, put in your mouth when you fight? He was like, y'all make mouthpieces in Texas? I'm like, I mean, unless you want to get your teeth knocked out, you probably going to make a mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? And you told me y'all's homeboys had a real free world. Y'all was so far ahead of us.
Yeah, we had a real free world mouthpiece. Yeah, we had to share it, but yeah, we had a real free. Hey, shout out Shorty.
Y'all had a couple of them, though, didn't you?
Yeah. Hey, boy, Seal, if y'all out there, you remember we used to have to share that thing.
Yeah. Say, I mean, it is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, these we keep mouthpieces and hope like hell you just don't got to use it. People would make a toilet paper. So what they would do is take toilet paper, same way you would paper mache something, mash it down, wet it up, form it up, take it. And like I do paper after it's wet and it's formed, what's it feel like when it dries? It's like a rock.
Paper mache,
yeah. So people would keep them either in their little pocket of their shirt, or the mouthpiece would be in the bench right in front of them. When I seen that, I say, man, I'm in a different place right now. Like, these dudes ain't even beefing with nobody, and they're still walking around with mouthpieces, just ready, just in case.
Yep.
Look, he said he seen something made in the machine shop. I believe it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I believe it. So the white dudes, look, he's wood. They had all the good shit. They had the machine shop, the maintenance shop. They got the best knives. They got all kind of stuff. So Ashland, we're not going to show it. Nah, I don't even want to talk about it. All I'm going to mention is I don't want to talk about everything that was laying on the bed. But that picture I sent you the other day, what that big ass knife look like?
Oh. Large.
Yeah. AR.
Large.
Bro, like.
Bone crusher.
Boys got 24-inch long shanks.
Like machetes almost.
Yeah.
Real machetes cut out the lockers and stuff. Coming out the machine shops, coming out the science shops, coming out the places. And you can look at this bone. This is beyond a bone crusher. This is a decapitator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is a cut you in halfer, not a crusher boner. This is and you fall in little pieces like a cartoon or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was crazy. But this is the thing. Boy, you can sure tell that thing was old, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm. You could.
Yeah. That thing been in there for years.
It swapped hands many times, I'm sure.
Years. Bro, years. They got knives that's been in there in these prisons after every annual shakedown, everything. These boys got swords in them.
She said swap down, bro. There's been so many swap downs. Oh my God.
Yeah, so many debts been paid with that knife. You know what I'm saying? More people been saved with that big thing by paying a debt because that's worth a lot of money.
Already.
Oh no, yeah, that's a $500 knife right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also possibly 20 years the way they're prosecuting people right now for it too at the same time.
Yeah. That's an ugly thing.
More than that, the cell phone got 35, so I can't imagine what a weapon would get.
I think a weapon will get a lot less than a cell phone, if you want to know the truth. A lot less, probably like 2 years for the weapon. But that weapon is so severe that's like, bro, that's one of the weapons they're going to take to the Huntsville Museum and hang on the wall type shit.
Yeah, I believe it.
I've never seen nothing like it, and I've seen a lot of stuff come out of those prisons.
And I've seen a bunch of them like it. That's the craziest part about it. Like, they really will make stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what was. Now look, so when I got to Beaumont, when I got to the Medium, they got that. Remember they had the laundry room with the ice machine.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Ashland. There was so on the side, the place was a triangle. The whole day room was a triangle. The three sides were cells. All three cells were sides. Came to a point, and at that point, that was the door to leave out of the place. There was a door going straight that went to another unit over there, and there was offices between those two. Like I could literally walk between this office and be in the other unit, but you were out of place and it was a serious case. You better not do it, right? So, but we had a laundry room that probably was, what you think, they are like maybe 10 by 20, something like that.
Yeah.
It had a table that you would see like in a cafeteria or something.
Yeah.
Right. It had an ironing board. It had the big industrial ice machine right there. I forget what the hell I was even talking about. Why was I even talking about this? Oh no. So listen, my bad, y'all. I'm tired. I did work 10 hours a day. So look, when I get there, I'm in there getting ice in my trash can. Everything's cool. I'm looking all around and shit. And I see the windowsill. Somebody peeled it back a little bit. And I'm like, oh shit. Somebody's about to peel that off and make them one like that. Yeah. And I'm like, how they gonna do it though? I'm thinking, man, that's gonna be so hard. I'm thinking in my brain that windowsill probably been peeled up like that for 20 years or something, right?
Right.
How about I come and look about a couple days later, that whole strip of metal's gone.
Damn.
I don't know which day it happened because I didn't pay that close attention, but within a day or two, gone. Somebody got that big long piece of steel right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that easy? It's just that simple?
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. And oh man, I ain't trying to put nothing or nobody.
Nah, we don't want to tell no, but it is that simple.
It is. It really is. I mean, more than you could think.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how you could think you could bring whatever you want to bring in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I mean, so when we're talking about it, here's the real truth too, though. The white guys have the best knives. Next is the Hispanic guys, because they got a few people. It all goes down to like maintenance and ability to grab things and saws and cutting shit. And then a lot of the black guys had plastic knives. Big, kill your ass now.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, plexiglass. That's what it was. Plexiglass, and they're sharpened exactly like a knife, pointed like one, cut exactly like a Rambo knife with the handle, and they're not going to break when they hit. They're damn near bulletproof glass almost. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys had those,
and they'll go through a radar. They'll go through the detector too.
And that's why we liked them. Hey, everybody. Most times, people would have to leave their knives in the cells, in the things, right? No. Yeah, the guys with them plexiglass knives, it would be tied to their waistband and just hanging right there by their stuff. You know what I mean? And they got this right there because every wing. So it was going into the chow hall, coming out of the chow hall, going into every housing area, going into school, going into everywhere. You had to walk through a metal detector.
Yeah.
So I always felt like plastic knives were better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if my life depends on it, I'm always want that machete though, if I can grab it.
Right.
You know, so I had homies that had steel in the cell, like black dudes that had, they've been there long enough. They had good knives. One dude had one of those little garden things that has the three and you break the deal. Yeah, my partner, shout out to Rico from the Southwest side, because listen, Rico had one of them with the big handle on it.
Yep.
And I'm like, damn, cuz, what you gonna do with that? He said, I'm gonna put 3 holes in everybody's head.
Yep.
He gonna swing. He planning on swinging it like that. Like he ain't, 3 holes in your head and you're done. You feel me? Like on to the next one. That was his plan if he ever had to use it. And he actually had 2 really good ones. And you know what? I love that man. I love Rico, man, because he would be like, say, if anything jumps off, anything pops off, run to my cell. He say, run to my cell. We grabbing them things.
Damn.
I'm like, okay.
And convict ballerina talking about them spears made out of newspaper. You remember them?
Yeah. Hey, hell, so I never made one of those though. I never had no reason. I wasn't trying to poke no guards or nothing. But yes,
but those things are real, dog. They will poke you.
They're real.
Yeah.
So one of the coolest things, if you're just gonna be some psycho and seg, is when they make them bow and arrows out of the. They use the boxer elastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they roll up the tube and they'll sharpen up usually a paper clip or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me. I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's talking about spears that might be 8, 9 feet long, right? 6 feet long, because they're behind doors that are meshed. It's those
Right.
diamond steel mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, bro, somebody like her that she worked in SEG will just be minding their old happy old business, walking by, and a spear will stab them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can puncture you. And the thing about it is, on these spears, a lot of times, guess what it has? A paperclip tip that's been dipped in doo-doo.
And yeah, and not even that, not just that, but yeah,
The
exactly.
spear, like, I mean, so they're gonna have trouble getting it. But if you really wanted to, you can make a spear and you wax it down with 4 wax.
Yeah.
And now you got something that's like a wood spear. Now you can really actually penetrate somebody. But 99 times out of 10, they're trying to poke them with that doo-doo thing. You know what I'm saying? Doo-doo darts.
Yeah.
Splash them with the doo-doo. Like, it goes, all this goes back to why there's not enough.
Shave cream, you know, all kind of stuff on there to mix in with glass. Yeah, they try
Look, CO right here said that's why they wear the stab-proof vest. I didn't see the stab-proof vest until I got to the feds.
Yeah.
I mean, the state surely probably had them, but I don't particularly remember officers walking.
You don't remember the ladies wearing they call them the
kill shield, kill guards?
Kill shields. You remember those?
Yeah. So there's a chick on my Facebook. Shout out to Maya. She's been on my Facebook. She used to be friends with my cousin, the one that's doing 55 years right now. And he's the white Tongo blade, you stone dude I was saying about, right? She works, I think she's hell, I don't know. She's some type of nurse. Look, nurse, or I bet she's some kind of nurse, and she just posted on Facebook the other day about working in the TDCJ hospital down in UTMB. Right? Hope I don't get her in no trouble. It ain't my friend, y'all. Don't fire her because she know me, but I know her through Facebook and stuff like that. Right? So anyway, she was talking about hating work there, and I told her, I hope you're wearing one of them things, and she didn't know what I was talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, no, she's in the hospital working around all these men, these perverted men probably, and didn't even know what a kill shield is. They didn't even lace her up to, maybe you want to put on a nightgown over your clothes.
Was she in the state or feds?
She's working at the hospital.
And, yeah, no, I know, but I mean
state. State.
You think she would know? Yeah, that's crazy,
bro. Mr. Larry used to talk about in the old days. They break their damn hand on purpose to go to the hospital just to look at them pretty nurses.
I believe it.
I mean, I've heard of people faking asthma attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're called kill shields. But you know what you know what they look like? If you've ever been into a grocery store like Kroger's, Randall's, any of them, you see the cashier lady that's wearing that thing that flips over and it's got the 2 little strings on the side. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
but
long.
But down to your knees, right? And it's covering any type of chest, any type of rear end, anything. So basically, all you see is a face. You see a woman, you know it's a woman. So they get so excited at just the thought of it being a woman. Yeah. They don't actually need to see her. I don't know. It's weird, you know. Yeah. So I tell you though, what about all these wives, these prison wives, these prison girlfriends sending this money? They're in love with these guys. How many of them you think is in there knocking down that old scraggly old, you know, got 3 hairs growing out of her chin, missing a tooth, boss lady? Every time count time, he's getting her like she's a beauty queen.
Yeah,
like there's gonna be a lot of them doing that. I mean, I'd be mad as hell I'd be so mad if I was a prison wife and that happened to me, man. Like you found out he was in there catching them cases. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, you're right. It does happen.
Oh, hell yeah, it happens. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. What did it say when Gonzalo Lopez escaped? I was behind the bus. Oh, shit. So something that about when Gonzalo Lopez escaped that was really unfair. Here we go back to this is not the life you want. Check this out, AR. And I told Ashton about this before. Whenever Gonzalo Lopez, that's the guy that came off U's unit, he escaped. He crawled through the gate in the front. He cut through the fence on the front of the chain bus and got out. And then he ended up killing 5 people. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not, Texas Prison Stories, we were the first one in the world to actually say how he made it out and everything. And they were calling me a liar and saying, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then a few days later, it dropped out on the news, right? But I definitely knew all about it. But the people that was on the bus with Gonzalo Lopez were all charged with aiding an escape, right? Because the story was he was able to cut through this fence on the bus due to them all making noise and distracting the drivers. When in reality, they were all minding their business, and he had cut through that fence already in a previous day. Like, that fence had been cut, and he had rode that same bus 17 times cutting on that fence. But TDCJ, to save face and to make themselves look better, needed that excuse to say, oh, they aided and helped. That not probably that the guy in the back was probably asleep. You know what I'm saying? The guy with the shotgun in the back was probably asleep, man. He probably was working doubles and not getting his overtime pay too. Yeah. So one particular person, I talked to his wife one day. She was very distraught. Listen, this man, it was his first time in prison. He was a nonviolent offender, and he was in there on a DWI charge, right? He came from a trustee camp, bro. He did his whole time, and I think he had 10 years because he had an accident too, right? He had an accident. I believe it was 10 years, but he made parole, and he was on his way to the DWI program when this guy escaped. And that man himself, I know they gave him that charge. They took his probation away. Took his parole away, gave him that charge, and they sent him G5 on Cofield unit. Can you imagine coming from a trustee camp to now you're G5 on Cofield with the killers?
For what? Just
for nothing, for being on that bus.
Damn.
Because they said he aided the escape. Isn't that wild?
Man, I can't imagine.
Well, that's why I say, though, that's why we telling people, bro, this is not the life you want. You might be on the way home. Some other goofy goo breaks out and kills people, and now you just got a new case and going G5.
Yep.
If you don't know what G5 is, y'all, that's closed custody. That's the dangerous place. That's where the damn people that. So you got people that can't function in society that go to prison.
Yeah.
You got people that can't function in prison that go G5. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Moore, salute, my bro. Oh, yeah. So they took this man out the friendly little area. On his way home, he had minded his business, caught no cases. Got this. The last time I talked to her, they were waiting to find out if he was going to get a free world case from it. So I never asked later. So I might Google that and figure it out. But
yeah,
I don't know. Y'all, this just ain't the life you want. Listen, we got her. She's a prison mom. We're two ex-prisoners. Man, we ain't got nothing good to say about this place. It ain't where you want to work. It ain't where you want to live. It ain't nothing cool about it. It'll make you'll be years behind when you get back out, man. Just stay free, y'all. And we're going to get up out of here. Ashlyn, thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, how you feeling your shoulder? You getting better?
Getting better, dog. Every day. Looking good.
That's what's up, man, because they keep asking. Y'all, double tap that screen for me. Hit the thumbs up, and we'll catch y'all later. Texas Prison Story family, salute.